The summer of 2025 has brought with it an intensifying wildfire season across the United States, and one of the nation's most treasured natural wonders is now under heightened threat. Yellowstone National Park, known for its geothermal marvels, breathtaking landscapes, and rich biodiversity, is facing a very high fire danger level. Today, the National Park Service implemented Stage 1 fire restrictions across the park, marking a significant escalation in protective measures. According to the National Interagency Fire Center, Stage 1 restrictions are designed to curb the risk of human-caused wildfires by limiting activities that could ignite flames, especially in dry and volatile conditions. In the developed front country areas of Yellowstone, smoking is now strictly prohibited except in specific designated locations where the risk is minimal. In the backcountry, where trails weave through vast stretches of wilderness, the rules are even tighter. The use of charcoal and wood campfires is banned entirely, even within established fire rings. Visitors are now urged to rely on portable stoves for cooking, as even small embers could prove disastrous in the current conditions. Critics of Yellowstone's Stage 1 fire restrictions argue that while the intent of preventing wildfires is valid, the approach carries the risk of alienating the public. They contend that imposing sweeping restrictions on access to public lands, even in the name of safety, could set a troubling precedent. If governments can so readily limit movement and activities in vast areas, some fear it may become easier for similar measures to be enacted in the future under other circumstances, justified by broad and subjective interpretations of protection or prevention. For many, this situation is more than a temporary inconvenience. It is seen as a test of how much personal freedom citizens are willing to surrender when faced with official safety warnings. Yellowstone is not only a national park, it is part of a collective heritage, a place where people connect with nature, find inspiration, and engage in traditions passed down through generations. Critics worry that denying access, even briefly, disrupts that bond and risks weakening the long-standing relationship between the public and these cherished lands. Some also point to the symbolic implications. Public lands are meant to belong to everyone, and when access is suddenly curtailed, it raises uncomfortable questions about ownership, control, and the balance between safety and liberty. If such measures are accepted without debate, they fear it could normalize a pattern of overreach, where restrictions become the first resort rather than the last. These protective measures come on the heels of a sweeping and controversial forest access ban in Nova Scotia, Canada. There, the provincial government recently barred entry into forested areas, threatening fines of up to $25,000 for violations. Premier Tim Houston announced the measure as part of an intensified effort to prevent wildfires during an unseasonably hot and dry period. Hiking, camping in wooded areas, fishing and driving through forest roads are all prohibited under the order, with camping restricted to designated campgrounds. The parallels between Nova Scotia's restrictions and Yellowstone's heightened fire protocols illustrate a growing global awareness of how rapidly changing environmental conditions can turn even the most pristine landscapes into tinderboxes. Adding to Yellowstone's current unease is a separate but equally concerning geological revelation. Scientists recently confirmed the discovery of a massive 465-mile-long plume of molten rock slowly rising beneath the Yellowstone caldera. This plume, detected through seismic imaging and other advanced monitoring techniques, has reignited public fascination and concern over one of Earth's most closely observed volcanic systems. The Yellowstone supervolcano, unlike a traditional cone-shaped volcano, is a vast caldera stretching roughly 45 miles across. Beneath it lies a colossal magma chamber, a reservoir of molten rock that fuels the park's geysers, hot springs, and fumaroles. Geologist Dr. Robert Christensen, who has studied Yellowstone extensively, explained that the earliest modern signs of deformation in the caldera were detected by Dr. Bob Smith from the University of Utah. Smith noticed unusual shifts in Yellowstone Lake's water levels. One end of the massive lake was rising while the opposite end was sinking, a clear sign that the ground beneath was tilting. This observation indicated vertical movement of the Earth's crust, prompting further investigation. Dr. Christensen and his team secured funding to work with the United States Geological Survey's Topographic Division, carrying out precise leveling surveys to measure the land's subtle changes over time. The results were striking. Over 50 years, the Yellowstone caldera had risen by approximately 2/3 of a meter. This kind of uplift, scientists concluded, could be caused by magma intruding into the crust or the expansion of Yellowstone's extensive hydrothermal system. Both scenarios point to ongoing subsurface activity that requires constant monitoring. While the upward movement is gradual, scientists caution that any acceleration in the rate of magma rise could trigger a sequence of geologic events that might culminate in an eruption. Past geological records indicate that Yellowstone's last major eruption may have occurred over an astonishingly short period of just 2 weeks from its initial signs to its climax. These findings have stirred concern among volcanologists and seismologists worldwide, many of whom have noted a broader trend of increased volcanic and seismic activity across the globe. The 20th century saw over 3,500 volcanic eruptions, averaging 30 per year. Those numbers have only increased in recent decades, with some eruptions becoming more intense and unpredictable. In 2018 alone, more than 14,000 earthquakes were recorded worldwide, with many occurring in clusters near tectonic plate boundaries and volcanic hotspots. Some researchers speculate that Earth may be entering a new phase of tectonic activity, one that could bring significant geological changes, including the reshaping of continental plates. For Yellowstone, the convergence of geological unrest and environmental risk creates a particularly delicate situation. The rising magma body beneath the park, paired with the unprecedented dryness and heat of the current season, underscores the complex relationship between Earth's deep interior and its surface ecosystems. While wildfire threats are seasonal, volcanic hazards are persistent and operate on timescales that range from centuries to millennia. Yet both can have sudden, dramatic impacts on human life and the natural environment. Predicting the exact moment when a supervolcano might erupt is currently beyond scientific reach. However, certain signs can hint at increasing instability: crustal deformation, changes in geothermal features, altered gas emissions, and spikes in seismic activity. The gradual uplift recorded in Yellowstone, combined with the new data on the rising plume, fits the profile of a system that is quietly shifting. Although there is no immediate indication of an impending eruption, the discovery serves as a reminder of the forces at work beneath the surface. For visitors and park managers alike, the immediate concern remains wildfire prevention. With the park's fragile ecosystem at risk, Stage 1 fire restrictions are essential for protecting both human lives and the natural treasures that make Yellowstone an irreplaceable part of the world's heritage. Officials are urging visitors to remain vigilant, follow all guidelines, and report any signs of smoke or unauthorized fires. The cost of a single spark in such dry conditions could be immeasurable, not just in terms of environmental damage, but also in the potential disruption to the ongoing scientific monitoring of the caldera. The situation at Yellowstone is a striking example of how interconnected natural processes can be. A park that sits atop one of the most powerful volcanic systems on Earth is simultaneously grappling with the immediate, visible threat of wildfire. While the rising magma deep below may not pose an urgent hazard today, it is a reminder that Yellowstone is a living, breathing, geological entity. Every shift in the ground, every plume of steam, and every tremor is part of a larger narrative that has been unfolding for millions of years. As fire restrictions tighten and scientists continue to track the subtle changes beneath the park, Yellowstone stands at a unique crossroads. It is a place where ancient forces and modern challenges meet, demanding both respect for nature's power and careful stewardship to preserve it for future generations. The very high fire danger level is not just a seasonal alert. It is a signal that the balance of conditions in Yellowstone is delicate and that even the smallest human actions can have lasting consequences. In a landscape shaped by fire, water, and molten rock, vigilance is not optional, it is essential. Dozens of residents in the Philippines have just reported today that millions of fish have made their way on land, which has caused many to suggest that something big could be about to happen. Oddly enough, the event which happened on the 7th of January sparked confusion for those who witnessed it, with many saying that this wasn't triggered by a predator in the area. Various videos and photographs were taken, which showed the fish desperately trying to make their way on land. Residents who live close to the area reported on social media that animals have been acting strange throughout the area, further adding that it's not just marine life that has been displaying odd behaviors. Birds, for example, have been seen flying to higher ground, with one resident saying that mammals have also been observed doing this, and it's led some to suggest that something big could be about to happen. Intriguingly, there is compelling anecdotal evidence that indicates certain animals, such as fish, may possess an inherent capacity to detect and anticipate natural calamities. Although the precise mechanisms behind this phenomenon are still not fully grasped, it is plausible that fish have the ability to perceive subtle environmental cues or changes in atmospheric pressure that serve as telltale signs of impending disasters, such as earthquakes or tsunamis. When it comes to the remarkable ability of fish to sense impending natural disasters, an intriguing aspect emerges, suggesting a connection between these animals and the premonition of catastrophic events. In this intriguing hypothetical situation, it is proposed that fish have the extraordinary ability to perceive an imminent natural calamity, like a tsunami, and instinctively, they react by swimming onto dry land, seeking refuge from the devastating repercussions that such an event may bring. Although this notion is purely speculative and lacks concrete evidence, it introduces a fascinating dimension to the intricate interplay between animals and their surroundings, expanding our understanding of their adaptive behaviors and the profound connections they share with their environments. Evidence abounds of animals, fish, birds, reptiles, and insects exhibiting strange behavior anywhere from weeks to seconds before an earthquake. However, despite extensive research, we are still unable to fully comprehend and predict the consistent and dependable patterns of behavior that occur before seismic events. Additionally, there is a lack of understanding regarding the underlying mechanism that would explain the occurrence of such patterns. A social media user recently shared an interesting observation regarding their koi pond. They noted that one day, while gazing at their beloved fish, they noticed an intriguing behavior. The fish seemed to be swimming tirelessly in circles, captivating the observer's attention for hours on end. In the early part of March, an incident took place where she recounted that within a few days, her residing area experienced the impact of an earthquake measuring 4 on the magnitude scale. The occurrence left a significant impact, causing both physical and emotional upheaval in the region. China, positioned on the Pacific Ring of Fire, finds itself situated in a region highly susceptible to seismic activity and earthquakes. This geographical location exposes the country to frequent tremors and geological disturbances. The Pacific Ring of Fire is an expansive region that constitutes a circular belt encircling the Pacific Ocean. This region is renowned for its notable predisposition towards heightened seismic activity, including frequent earthquakes, along with a propensity for volcanic eruptions. China is located in a region where the Eurasian Plate and the Indian Plate meet, forming a boundary between these two significant tectonic plates of the Earth's crust. This geological position makes China highly susceptible to seismic activity and geological phenomena. The convergence and impact of these two tectonic plates have given rise to an intricate network of fault lines that traverse across China, giving way to a recurrent occurrence of seismic events. Yes, earthquakes occur frequently in China. However, the nation has taken significant initiatives to reduce their adverse effects. The measures implemented to mitigate the impact of earthquakes encompass a variety of strategies. Fish have the ability to be driven towards land when faced with abrupt and significant transformations in their underwater surroundings. These environmental disruptions, such as sudden fluctuations in water temperature, levels of oxygen, or the density of pollutants, can create inhospitable conditions in their aquatic habitats. Consequently, fish may opt to temporarily inhabit land as a strategy to cope with and adjust to these modified circumstances. This adaptation allows them to find temporary refuge and seek a more suitable environment until their original habitats stabilize. In these cases, venturing onto land becomes a survival mechanism for fish, enabling them to navigate and respond effectively to the challenging alterations in their aquatic ecosystems. When faced with rising temperatures that result in a lack of oxygen or the rapid growth of harmful algal blooms in aquatic ecosystems, fish may resort to migrating to land for short periods. This migration is driven by an urgent necessity to adapt and survive the increasingly deteriorating conditions in their aquatic habitats. During their temporary stays on land, fish seek out oxygen-rich environments and alternative food sources, enabling them to evade the challenges of their compromised aquatic homes. This behavioral adaptation demonstrates the resourcefulness and resilience of fish in the face of environmental changes, highlighting their ability to explore new strategies to ensure their survival. Throughout the annals of time, a plethora of cultures spanning the globe have nurtured an array of beliefs and folklore, all pointing towards the inherent capacity of animals, including our magnificent finned friends, fish, to foretell and prefigure the advent of cataclysmal natural calamities. Passed down from generation to generation, these captivating tales depict fish behaving in a peculiar and unorthodox manner, swiftly evacuating their usual habitats, or exhibiting anomalous behavior preceding the arrival of destructive tsunamis or earth-shattering earthquakes. Such anecdotes have sparked an insatiable curiosity, prompting numerous inquiries into the potential existence of a highly refined and startlingly perceptive sixth sense bestowed upon fish, enabling them to sense danger before it happens. In order to delve into the topic of fish sensing natural disasters, it is crucial to explore the remarkable sensory adaptations that fish have undergone throughout their evolution. These adaptations serve as their survival tools in the aquatic environments they inhabit. By developing a diverse range of sensory organs and mechanisms, fish have acquired the ability to not only navigate their surroundings effectively, but also thrive in their watery habitats. These sensory modalities encompass various facets such as sight, hearing, taste, smell, and a unique sensory system known as the lateral line. The lateral line system not only detects vibrations, but also monitors water movement, enabling fish to perceive and respond to their surroundings with great precision and sensitivity. One widely accepted hypothesis posits that fish may be capable of detecting variations in environmental conditions that are linked to natural calamities through their sensory organs. To illustrate, modifications in the chemical composition, pressure, temperature, or the shifting of tectonic plates prior to an earthquake might conceivably elicit behavioral reactions in fish. This ability to perceive impending disasters could potentially serve as a survival mechanism for these aquatic creatures, enabling them to react and adapt to their changing surroundings. Anecdotal observations of fish displaying abnormal behavior prior to natural disasters have sparked speculation regarding their capacity to detect imminent events. These reports frequently depict fish leaping out of the water or swimming erratically in shallow regions shortly before a significant seismic occurrence or a tsunami. Although intriguing, anecdotal evidence is restricted due to its subjective nature and the absence of organized data collection. Expanding on this topic in a comprehensive manner, it is important to delve deeper into the reasons behind these observed behaviors. While scientific research has yet to provide concrete evidence supporting the notion that fish possess a sixth sense for imminent natural disasters, some theories have emerged to shed light on this phenomenon. There is a notable case that revolves around the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. This natural disaster triggered a series of observations made by local fishermen residing in different coastal areas. Remarkably, these fishermen reported an unusual surge in fish activity and restlessness in the days preceding the catastrophic event. The intriguing nature of these accounts has subsequently prompted retrospective studies to explore the possibility of utilizing fish behavior as a potential early warning indicator for tsunamis and earthquakes. These investigations aim to delve deeper into the relationship between fish behavior and seismic activities, thereby enriching our understanding of the mechanisms that occur prior to such calamities. Ongoing scientific research continues to delve into the fascinating subject of how fish sense natural disasters. The findings obtained from numerous studies have been both supportive and contradictory, adding complexity to our understanding. It has been suggested by some studies that fish do exhibit changes in their behavior when exposed to environmental cues linked to seismic activity. The analysis of this captivating phenomenon has taken scientists on a journey of exploration, seeking to uncover the intricate ways in which fish interact with their environment. According to a study published in 2013 in the prestigious journal Bulletin of the Seismological Society of America, findings revealed that goldfish, when exposed to simulated seismic waves, exhibited heightened swimming activity and displayed alterations in their positioning within an enclosed tank. This research serves as compelling evidence, suggesting that fish possess the capacity to respond to seismic vibrations. However, it is important to note that this study does not conclusively establish their ability to predict earthquakes. By closely examining the effects of seismic activity on goldfish, these experiments shed light on the potential sensitivity of aquatic organisms to the subtle movements occurring beneath the Earth's surface. Numerous research studies have been carried out on various fish species, such as tilapia, catfish, and others, in order to investigate their response to changes in environmental factors like water temperature, pressure, and other related parameters. The results of these studies have revealed interesting findings, indicating that fish possess the ability to detect even the slightest alterations in their surrounding environment. This implies that fish exhibit a remarkable sensitivity towards their surroundings and have the capability to adapt and react accordingly. The reason behind this peculiar conduct remains a mystery. China is a country that has regularly experienced earthquakes, prompting speculation about whether animals, particularly sheep, could possess an innate ability to sense these seismic events. The occurrence of earthquakes in China has been well documented, leading many to question if there could be an unexplored connection between animal behavior and natural disasters. In ancient Greece, dating back to 373 BC, we can find the earliest record of peculiar animal behavior preceding a major earthquake. This intriguing observation sheds light on the connection between seismic activity and the response of animal species. According to reports, prior to a devastating earthquake, various animals such as rats, weasels, snakes, and centipedes abandoned their habitats and sought refuge. There is a wealth of anecdotal evidence suggesting that various animals, including mammals, fish, birds, reptiles, and insects, display peculiar behavior in the period leading up to an earthquake. Several decades ago in China, a prediction was made regarding earthquakes, taking into account not only the occurrence of small tremors, but also the unusual behavior of animals. During the occurrence of the primary earthquake, numerous individuals made the deliberate decision to spend the night outdoors, away from the confinements of their homes. This strategic choice ultimately proved to be beneficial, as it enabled them to evade the extensive devastation that ensued. Typically, this kind of seismic activity does not result in significant earthquakes, and unfortunately, many earthquakes occur without any preceding precursory events. This lack of precursors makes it challenging to predict when an earthquake might strike. For this particular reason, individuals become concerned when they witness animals displaying such behavior, leading residents to harbor apprehensions about the likelihood of a major earthquake striking the area in the upcoming days. The sight of animals acting unusually serves as an alarming sign, indicating an impending seismic event. Throughout history, there have been numerous reports and accounts documenting the peculiar behavior of animals prior to the occurrence of a destructive earthquake in a particular area. This phenomenon has persisted for centuries and continues to intrigue scientists and researchers. Several years ago, a group of scientists made an intriguing announcement, revealing that they had successfully captured and documented the behavior of wild animals in the period leading up to an earthquake. According to these researchers, this groundbreaking footage could potentially serve as tangible evidence of animals exhibiting unusual behavior just prior to seismic activities. The team specifically focused their studies on avian species inhabiting Peru. Fascinatingly, their observations indicated that several days preceding the occurrence of an earthquake, these perceptive birds would instinctively seek refuge, seeking shelter from potential danger. The research team further speculated that the animal's instinctive reaction of seeking cover might be connected to the presence of airborne ions, presenting a compelling avenue for further investigation and exploration. This revelation has opened up a captivating realm of potential research and could potentially contribute to the broader understanding of earthquake precursors and animal behavior.